Good morning, children.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
Day after tomorrow, you will be having a test paper based on the chapter Crop Production and Management. Learn it thoroughly and score full marks. Okay. And today we are going to start another chapter, very interesting chapter. And you know about them, a group of organisms which you cannot see with unaided eye, or with naked eyes you can't see them. You need a microscope to see them. And these organisms,
Ma'am,
yes,
is the chapter bacteria.
wait, let me come to the topic. And these organisms, some of them, they are useful, some of them are harmful. Majority of them are useful and many are harmful also. So now already Kiran got an idea about what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about which organisms, children?
Bacteria.
Just bacteria? Microorganisms. And what are the different types of microorganisms that you know or you're familiar with?
Bacteria, fungi,
Bacteria,
protozoa,
protozoa,
algae.
algae.
Then,
Finished. Fungi. Fungi, all of them, algae and fungi, all are not microscopic. Certain algae and fungi, for example, mushroom, you can see with your naked eyes. Some of them you can see with naked eyes and some are microscopic, but they all fall under that category. Algae, fungi, bacteria, and protozoans. Am I missing out a particular group of microbes? Bacteria, protozoans, fungi, algae. Did I miss out anyone?
Virus.
Virus. Why we are miles apart and joining in the Zoom session for the class? Who is the culprit?
COVID-19.
COVID virus or coronavirus. It's because of COVID-19. It's a viral disease. Can you see viruses with your naked eyes?
No, ma'am.
No. But they are not grouped under the other microbes. Along with the other microbes, viruses are not included. Do you know the reason why we are not including viruses along with the other 4 types? Is there any speciality for viruses when compared to other microbes? Yes.
It occurs.
Come on.
Spread it.
All microbes, so see, infectious microbes, they can spread.
Ma'am, they occur in human beings.
Not only in human beings, they can infect even a bacteria. Virus can infect a bacteria also. Plants, animals, including human beings.
Ma'am, they don't have life when they are outside.
Yes, exactly. You got it from the textbook?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I have read this.
Exactly. That is the answer. Viruses, when they are outside a living body, outside a host cell, they do not show any signs of life. They'll be inert or inactive. But as soon as they enter a host cell, they become active and they start to multiply and they show signs of life. So you can say that they are on the borderline between living and non-living. If they are inside the host cell, they show signs of life. Outside a host cell, no signs of life. So they fall under a separate category. Clear? And viruses, they can live inside the body of a plant, an animal, or including human beings, or even a virus. Sorry, even a bacteria. Virus can even grow inside a bacteria. Clear? And those viruses which use bacteria as its host, you call them as bacteriophages. Have you heard about bacteriophages? Viruses, they can live inside the body of a plant, animal including human being, or even inside the body of a bacteria, they can survive. And those viruses which live inside the body of a bacteria, you call them as bacteriophages. Okay, let's learn more about microorganisms, the different uses and the harmful impacts of these microbes we are going to learn in detail. So our next chapter is microorganisms, friend and foe. Foe means what? What is the word meaning of foe? Enemy.
Amy.
So microorganism, they both act as friends and enemy. Enemies, they can be our enemy because they have so many harmful impacts on our body. They can cause different infectious diseases. And at the same time, they are useful to us in many ways in preparing household products. On a commercial scale, we have several uses with these microbes. We can use them for preparing medicines. They increase the fertility of the soil. They clean the environment. So many uses are there. And at the same time, they cause harmful diseases. And that is why the caption of the chapter is like this: microorganisms, friend and foe.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I cannot see the PowerPoint that you are.
What about others?
I can't. Ma'am, it's showing so many files.
Okay, okay, wait. Okay, children, let's see more about microbes. Organisms that are too small, means very small, to be seen by the unaided eye are called microorganism. Unaided eye means what? Can anybody tell me what is meant by unaided eye? Aid means a help, assistance. Unaided eye means without any other device or any other assistance, you cannot see them. Definitely we can see them using a microscope. So without that, with naked eyes, without any assistance, without any aids, you will not be able to see these organisms. So those organisms which are too small to be seen with the unaided eyes are known as microorganisms. There are four major groups: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. These are the four major groups of microorganisms. I'll repeat it again: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Not all algae and not all fungi. Certain fungi and certain algae, they are included under microorganisms. Clear? These are the four major groups of microorganisms. Now, we'll see some of the microbes and the diseases caused by these microbes. Virus, they can cause diseases like common cold, influenza, and also, just a minute, children. Common cold, influenza, chicken pox, all these are diseases caused by viruses. Polio, then bacteria, typhoid, tuberculosis, protozoa, dysentery, malaria. A few examples of the diseases caused by microbes. I already told you about viruses, why viruses are not included under the category of microbes. But since these examples of diseases caused by microbes or viruses are given in your textbook, I've included that also. Common cold is caused by virus, influenza, polio, chickenpox, all are caused by viruses. And bacteria cause typhoid, tuberculosis, protozoans cause dysentery and malaria. Now let's learn a few more points about viruses. Viruses are also microscopic, but they are not included under the microbes. Along with the other members, we haven't included it because they are on the borderline between living and non-living. They do not show any signs of life outside a living organism. They can reproduce only inside the cells of a host organism. This host can be a bacterium, a plant, or an animal. Once again, viruses are also microscopic, but they form a separate group. The reason is they are on the borderline between living and non-living. Outside a living cell, they do not show any signs of life. They can reproduce or they multiply only inside a host cell. This host can be a plant, animal, or even a bacteria. And those viruses which use bacteria as their host, you call them as bacteriophage. Bacteriophage, it's a virus which is using bacteria as its host. Okay? All the points that we have discussed, have you understood? We learned about microbes. Microbes are organisms which are too small to be seen with our naked eyes. And then we learned about different diseases caused by microorganisms. Viruses, even though it is not included under the other microbes, they form a separate category. The diseases caused by them also are listed in your book, like chickenpox, polio, influenza, common cold, etc. And then protozoans and bacteria, they also cause diseases. The diseases caused by bacteria, typhoid, tuberculosis, and protozoan diseases, dysentery and malaria. Then we learned about viruses. They are microscopic. They do not show any signs of life outside a living organism. And they are on the borderline between living and non-living. They can reproduce only inside the cells of a host organism. And the host can be a bacterium, a plant, or an animal. When I say animal, it includes human beings too. See, here you can see the picture of a bacteriophage. Now, where are these microorganisms found? Where can you see them? Where do they live? Any idea, children? Where do they live? Where are they found?
Where there is moisture.
Where there is moisture, then everywhere. It's not necessary that they need. Some of them, they don't require that too. They can be found in all the different habitats, diverse habitats. They can survive under all types of environment, even in ice cold climate, hot water springs, deserts, marshy areas, everywhere. Places where even human beings cannot survive, there you can find microorganisms. In hot water springs, you have heard about hot water springs? Hot water will be coming out from underground. So such hot water springs, ice cold areas, deserts, swamps or marshy areas, everywhere you can find them. They are adapted to live in different climatic conditions. They are found inside the bodies of animals. Many of them are found inside our body. Some are useful, some are harmful. Some microorganisms, they grow on other organisms. They depend upon other organisms, while some of them live freely. They don't want any other organism to survive. Whereas certain microbes, they live depending upon other organisms. They grow on other organisms. Some of them can live freely. Then some of them live in colonies, live in groups, like bacteria, fungi, and all. They live in groups, a bacterial colony. Many bacteria live together in colonies, in groups. But some of them live alone, like amoeba. Amoeba is an example for a protozoan. And they can live alone. They don't live in groups. Once again, microorganisms can be seen in different habitats, diverse habitats, everywhere inside the bodies of human beings. Not only human beings, inside the body of plants, animals, everywhere you can find them. And not only there, you can find them in hot water springs, ice cold areas, and marshy areas, deserts, where the climatic conditions are extreme. Everywhere you can find them. And some of them grow on other organisms. Some of them lead an independent life. They don't want to grow on other organisms to survive. Some of them live freely. Some of them depend upon other organisms to survive. Some live in colonies or groups like bacteria and also fungi. They live in groups. But some of them lead an independent life, means they live alone. Amoeba, they are not living or forming groups, but they live alone. Clear? Can I proceed? Say yes or no? Yes. Now we are moving on to the different uses of microorganisms. So microorganisms are useful to us in many ways, many uses. And at the same time, they can cause several diseases. All that we will learn towards the end. First, let's see the positives or the uses of these microbes. They are of great use in our day-to-day life. We'll start from household. It is used in the preparation of different food items. For example, milk is converted to curd by the action of bacteria. The bacterium known as lactobacillus. The lactobacillus bacteria, they will multiply in milk and convert milk into curd. Conversion of milk into curd is brought about by the bacterium lactobacillus. They are also used, bacteria are also used for making cheese, pickles, rava idlis, baturas. These are a few examples. Many more food items are there which we can prepare with the help of these microorganisms. And cheese, pickles, rava idlis, baturas. For making cheese and all, not just bacteria, other microbes are also used for preparation. Once again, the bacterium lactobacillus helps in converting milk into curd. So curd is produced from milk with the help of bacterium known as lactobacillus. Microbes are also used in the production of cheese, pickles, rava idlis, baturas, and many more food items. Then, next use. It's used in the baking industry. Baking industry. What is being prepared? Or what are the products? Oh, yes, correct. What are the products produced in the baking industry, children?
Bread.
Bread. Bun. Cakes. Pastries. Okay, all these are being produced in the yes. All these are being produced in the baking industry. So microbes are useful in the baking industry, and mainly the fungus yeast. Yeast is used for making bread, cakes, biscuits, pastries, not only in the baking industry, even at home. Your mother is using yeast for preparing different food items, for preparing wine, for preparing appam, for preparing cakes at home. Yes or no? If you ask your mother, she will tell you more about yeast. And in all kitchens, everywhere, in your house also, if you check, you can find yeast stored in your cupboard. Kitchen cabinet, you can find this yeast. You get it in powder form, granule form, and once they get all the right conditions, they will multiply. So when yeast is added to a slightly warm, lukewarm sugar solution, it will start multiplying, and it is used for the preparation of appam, wine, cake, so many food items at home, and even in the baking industry, it is used for preparing bread, cakes, pastries, etc., biscuits, etc. See, here you can see the granule form of yeast. It reproduces in flour dough. See, children, if you mix the dough with yeast, okay, and if you notice it after a few hours, you will what you will find. For example, appam. If your mother is preparing, she wants to prepare appam for the next day. and she prepares the flour dough, adds yeast into it, and the next day, what you will find, children? Have you noticed it? What will happen to the amount, quantity?
Ma'am, it will come up.
It will increase. The quantity will increase. Sometimes, if the climate is suitable, if the conditions are suitable, you might even see overflowing. See, the vessel she might have kept might be overflowing the next day when you check. So that depends upon the other conditions, the temperature, humidity, all those. Depending upon that, the amount, their multiplication can be they can multiply faster in certain situations. So you can see that the dough will rise. What else you will notice, children, in the dough? Can you see some bubbles over there? Yes. And you take some flour dough, and if for that flour batter, when you're preparing appam, the batter, some amount of batter, if you spread on the pan, what you will find on the appam? Bubbles will be there, or the bubbles will escape after preparing? When you're eating, can you find any bubbles there? No. But what you will find?
It will escape.
What will remain? It will escape, and what will remain? Holes. What are these holes? What were in these holes before? Air. Air was present. These were actually air bubbles, but upon heating or upon cooking, what will happen? These air will get escape and the holes will remain. It is because of these holes, it is very soft and fluffy. Cakes, bread, everywhere. Advait, you are eating. When I told you about some food items, what are you doing there? Okay. And it is because of these small openings or holes, it is very soft and fluffy. Take the case of pastry, bread, bun. You can find small pores or holes in it, which will make it very soft and fluffy. It reproduces. Yeast will reproduce in the flour dough, and it will release carbon dioxide upon respiration. It will respire and it will release carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide or the bubbles of carbon dioxide will fill the space inside the dough. And that is why the dough is rising. Maybe the previous day the mother will keep, or the dough will be only, or the batter, the dosha batter or whatever it is, maybe appam batter will be just half of the vessel. Next morning, you can find it overflowing, or maybe the vessel will be full, or it will be 3/4. The increase in the amount is because of the yeast respiring. Upon respiring, it will release carbon dioxide, and these carbon dioxide will fill the space inside the batter, and the batter will rise, or if it is dough, the dough will rise. Is that clear? Is that clear, yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, children. Is that understood? It can be asked, what makes the flour dough to rise after adding yeast? It's because yeast will reproduce. It will increase in number, and they release carbon dioxide upon respiration. These bubbles or bubbles of carbon dioxide will fill the space inside the batter or dough, and the dough will increase in volume. Okay? Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can we recap the points?
Yes, ma'am.
Samuel, what are microorganisms, Samuel? What do you mean by microorganisms?
Organisms which cannot be seen by our unaided eye.
Very good. They are known as microorganisms. What are the 4 major types of microbes, Kiran? 4 major types of microbes.
Virus, bacteria.
Virus is included under these 4.
Algae, fungi, protozoa, and bacteria.
Very good. Why viruses are included under a separate category? Who will say? Avnida. Why viruses form a separate category?
Ma'am, because they show no sign of life outside the host body. and they are in the border of living and non-living.
And when do they show the signs of life?
And they are inside.
When they are inside a host cell. What are the hosts they commonly use, Dia? Which are the 3 hosts they commonly use? 3 types.
Plants,
Ah.
animals,
Or even a?
and other organisms.
Which is the other organism?
Bacteria.
Bacteria. Okay. Then we learned about the uses. Tell me some uses of these microbes. Fiona, anyone use? Anyone use?
To change milk into curd.
It produces curd from milk or converts milk into curd. Second use? Akash?
And to make cheese.
To make cheese, only cheese? Cheese,
Wine.
pickles, baturas, rava idlis, etc. Which microbe is used mainly in the baking industry?
Yeast.
Yeast is used in the baking industry. And why the dough is rising after adding yeast? Who can tell me? Dion? Dion, why the dough rises after adding yeast? If you notice it after a few hours, why the dough is rising?
It reproduces in the flour dough and
What happens? It will reproduce, it will multiply, and then they will
produce
They will?
carbon dioxide.
respire. Upon respiring, what is produced? Which gas? Dion, which gas is produced?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. And what happens to this carbon dioxide? Somebody complete it. What happens to this? Yes.
Carbon dioxide
Will fill
the space. Carbon dioxide the space in the
fill the dough, and that is why the dough increases in volume. Okay, understood? No, we'll be learning more uses of microbes in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. See you next class, and be prepared for the test paper. Day after tomorrow, 7. I'll send you the link in the class group. Okay, bye, children.
Thank you, ma'am.